part of being a citizen in my mind is that to make a community work, everyone has to do their part a little bit.
We planted trees. Something I've never done before, we planted crops like potatoes, strawberries, blueberries. We also worked at food banks, and so we did a variety of things. It was kind of like the cycle, where the food grows, where it goes.
Started early Saturday morning, early for me. I got up early to get there. We went to Moscow first, and we went to the New Hope Center thrift store and food bank. We worked there for half a day, and then we jumped in the vans and we headed over to the west side. We woke up bright and early, and we started at Little Earth Farms in Puyallup.
So there was the garlic, the peas, and then the potatoes. So I was in the potato group, and it was something I'd never done before, and it's actually kind of hard.
The food that they produce and harvest gets distributed to local food banks.
We all had like a communal lunch, and there was alpacas there and chickens, and it's very farm-like. What you think of when you think of like a little farm, I guess. After we finished there, we got in the vans and we headed up to Chimacum, wasn't it?
To Chimacum,
Yeah.
to Spring Rain Farm and Orchard.
We did evening reflection every night where we kind of went over the day's events and how they were important and meaningful. And we spent the entire day planting trees, and I think we planted close to 1,000 trees.
I think it was even over 1,000.
Yeah. It was intense. You have to tear the grass up, you have to dig the hole, you have to put the tree down and make sure its roots are covered. Then you pound the stake in, and then you wrap the little blue things around, and so it protects them. There was mud, and a lot of the kids had pretty good shoes. Some of them were tennis shoes. I know a lot of them had to have had soaking feet by the end of the day. And everybody had such phenomenally good attitudes. They were smiling and laughing, and the camaraderie was just really high and up there. And I was so proud. I was just like, go Cougs.
So I remember sometimes I would be exhausted because the shovels are heavy, and I had never worked with a shovel before, so it was my first time. And I remember I would just stop and then look around and see everybody just working so hard.
We had people from kinesiology, chemistry, psychology, elementary education, economics.
Even though we came from different backgrounds and different areas, we came together for a specific cause, and we not only came together, we did so happily. We wrapped up the trip down in Kent at Northwest Harvest Food Bank, which is a giant warehouse that takes in donations from food drives all over, and then processes all the food and donations they get in and packages them up to go to local food banks. And so we spent the day kind of being on the other end of the spectrum, where we went from actually growing the food, and planting the crops and working in the earth, to what it's like when it gets to box form and can, and who it's feeding.
The donations we got along the way really makes the trip able to happen on a tight budget.
School is not enough to expand my learning, so I like to go outside of the classroom and just, apply my learning, since I am in elementary education, apply my learning to the community.